What's up, Vikings fans? Welcome back to the second edition of Vikings Vantage. Now, I would like to bring in our special guest today, Mr. Eric Nordquist. And Eric, we've seen you a lot at TCO the past couple of days filming KFAN's 9 to noon. How has that been, filming that amidst everything going on and, things being so weird right now?
Yeah, it's, as you guys have experienced, and it's good to finally, again, we're doing it, virtually meeting each other. And I appreciate you guys having me on. It's unique times, it's weird times. And I think like most Vikings fans, we were just kind of rooting for as much normalcy as we could get. And as football fans, that means getting pads on these players and getting the opportunity to evaluate them. And 9 to noon wise, we've been out there twice this week. PA, of course, it was out as part of your simulcast, the 2 to 4 p.m. simulcast on Monday. I thought it was a hit. It's something we've all been waiting for, and just really looking forward to kind of, solving all of those questions that we've had now multiple months with nothing but thoughts to generate.
So you had the fun job of having a radio show during a pandemic and having no sports to talk about. How excited are you and PA to finally be at Verizon Vikings Training Camp talking Minnesota Vikings?
Yeah, and the Vikings, kind of the identity of our show and the relationship that as a station has been built long before I started here through to where it is now. We've been yearning for it. And so, as a radio show that talks about sports, not having sports, it's been different. But football is here, man. And getting to see the familiar faces, understanding how the new guys fit into the mix, whether it's Gabe on the VEN side or it's Durante Jones. We got to talk with the new DBs coach yesterday at TCO. So, getting to mix the new faces with the familiar ones and put it all together for a successful 2020.
You talk about familiar faces. I had a chance to listen to your interview with Kyle Brandt. Really, really good interview. What was one of your biggest takeaways from that interview with him?
Well, as Vikings fans, the first thing that we do when we wake up is we give thanks to our team, and then we say 2 to 3 negative things about the guys to the east, and that would be the Green Bay Packers. The weird situation with Aaron Rodgers. I love that podcast that Kyle's doing, 10 Questions with Kyle Brandt. I think it's a YouTube bit. You can catch the video. But the first one that I saw was, of course, with Aaron Rodgers. And kind of the draft night opinions now a few months later as things have cooled down as what he thought and what was going through his head as the Packers selected Jordan Love. And is that an heir apparent? Is there trouble in paradise? This was a team that was a game away from the Super Bowl. And so just kind of, the insight into that, even though I hate the team, I respect Aaron's game to the max.
Shifting to the Vikings, who is your way too early player that you are like super excited about? Like just throw out your way too early observation being there a few days.
Well, I'm not different than anybody else out there right now that I'm trying to figure out, those long, lanky arms for Cameron Dantzler. I want to get his measurements to the tailor in Canton so that we can get that gold jacket set up. But so I'm way too early on him. But it appears, though, given the opportunity, that he's going to be starting on Sunday. So that's really cool. Another guy that I'm excited about, just from seeing him very limitedly, is Troy Dye, the rookie linebacker out of Oregon. If you think about what Marwan Malouf has to do, really now 2 years in a row with the Vikings, is completely reshaped the special teams. And, we love 55 and 54 and, Eric Wilson in the mix now and Ben Gideon. We're hoping that he's healthy soon. But Troy Dye kind of adding to that mix. And then, I'd say my third player, and it's not too early because he's already been here for a season, my favorite player on the team right now in terms of just blowing up, and I hope I'm right, is Irv Smith Jr. I mean, youngest kid on the team, I think a year ago, had his 21st birthday, I think, in New Orleans, where he's from during the preseason last year. And now, after a couple of TDs and some looks last season, when you think about, the similarities we'll see from the offense, but when you take away 94 targets and nearly 1,200 yards from Stephon Diggs, other guys are going to get to eat a lot more. And I think the athleticism and the potential of Irv Smith Jr. has me as excited for his outlook as really anything in relation to this team.
Well, no one's going to be able to eat until the lineman can do so. offensive line, you got four returning starters from last year, and then you got that left guard position that's open right now. How do you see that situation playing out? That's the question everybody wants to know from everybody at this point.
Yeah, I know you're new to Minnesota, Gabe, but probably didn't take you long to figure out the level of angst that the fan base has when it comes to the offensive line. First, from an optimistic viewpoint, the positivity that I've heard in regard to Pat Elflein moving to right guard, let's get that pass protection moving. That wasn't always the best, and I'm rooting for him. And so I hope that's the case. And it sounds like he's going to get the job for day one. So good. And keep it, hopefully, for Pat. Now, the left guard spot, you got three names, right? Dakota Dozier, and then maybe, Avion Collins is kind of an intriguing guy where, it was always, hey, look out for Avion. If there's an 8th or a 9th lineman spot, Avion Collins has a chance to get it. And the final roster cuts take place, and guess what? Avion Collins is hurt. And he doesn't get the opportunity to fulfill maybe some of that talent that he has. Is he a potential candidate there? And then Ezra Cleveland. If we're talking philosophically, and this is a non-pandemic year, I personally would have preferred that Ezra was working out behind Riley Reif at left tackle. It sounds like that, Ezra is going to be another guy that they're going to try and figure it out. So I have faith that between Rick Dennison and Kubiak that they're going to put this thing together. But I have no answers. I have no crystal ball. And I've been around here long enough, Gabe, to know that I am not making any grandstanding opinion on the O-line until I see it in person.
The guy behind the offensive line is the biggest name on the Minnesota Vikings. Kirk Cousins wins the playoff game last year. What are your expectations for him this season?
If you're writing a grocery list, and this is not an indictment of Kirk, but Kirk's like at the bottom of the list, it's just that obvious thing, 2% milk. Well, right now that's Kirk. He's at the bottom of the grocery list. All of these other things are ahead of him in terms of importance. It's been so long since, we've been sweating 5 or 10 other things without mentioning the quarterback spot. So he brought consistency. He brought talent and success there. The stability is there. The talent is there. And the production was undeniable in a Gary Kubiak offense when he's had really good running backs. Those guys are the focal points over the course of a season. So the completion percentage was good. The improvisation would be something that he could improve on. But I am anticipating in year 3 now, same spot, same offense, same vibe, that he at least gives us what he gave us a year ago. So that's really nice. But again, Kirk, not on my list of things to be concerned about. How his role changes, I think, is how this defense comes together, because it's something we've talked about 9 to noon on the Fan. Is we've been so accustomed throughout Mike Zimmer's tenure that this defense just shuts it down. Third downs, no worry. You're going to give extra shots to the offense. Well, what if Kirk is playing behind or there are more tenuous situations where we're seeing the defense on the field a lot longer, and whether it's playing catch-up or just a lot closer games in some situations, how does that change what Kubiak and Cousins ultimately have to do? So, but I have, first of all, I have no worries about Kirk, and I'm just looking forward to seeing him throwing to Justin Jefferson. Let's get KJ Osborne in there. How about Dan Chisena? How about the sprinter from Penn State? I still love him. I have to meet all of these guys now. I don't know anybody from the wide receiving core anymore.
I'll get you out of here with this question. The Vikings will win the NFC North if.
Ooh, man. Okay.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I think that it's all defense for me. So I got some tunnel vision to me. I think the Packers are going to be really good. The Packers should be favored to win the division. 13-win team last year. You got the Smith, they're not brothers, but they're brothers coming at you from all angles on that defense. And then you got Aaron Rodgers. You got all that. But I think that the Vikings can simply control their own destiny by figuring out what the pass rush situation looks like on the defense and really finalizing 2 or 3 starting corners. I think the depth on this team could be potentially the answer to them, specifically on the defensive side, winning the division or just flirting their way. And then Vikings fans are like, hey, we got that extra wild card spot. Don't count us out yet. But winning the division is going to be, of course, handling your division games. I want to sweep the Packers this year if we can do it, starting week 1 at US Bank Stadium, fans or no fans. And then let's see what this defense looks like from a pass rush perspective.
That's Eric Nordquist. You can follow him on Twitter at MadProducer1. Thank you, Eric.
Hey, thank you guys. See ya.